Hello everyone, this is ponderonweather coming at you with another update. In this update, we're going to be talking about a historic snowstorm with a blizzard and severe weather. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media, right? So let's get started. Here is the latest watches and warnings as of this morning, March the 12th. And we've got an historic snowstorm on the table, guys. We've got winter storm warnings in place for Colorado as well as Wyoming. And we've got winter storm watches as well in portions of Colorado, getting into Nebraska, South Dakota, and then as well Wyoming. But we also have flash flood watches out ahead of that storm into Kansas as well as Missouri, and then some high wind advisories into portions of the Northeast. So let's go over the details. First, let's figure out kind of where we've been and where we're going to go. Here's the last 45-day temperature anomaly, which basically encompasses the last half of winter. And you can definitely see, I mean, this encompasses the historic February Arctic outbreak, but you can see, this green is anywhere from 6 to 10, below average temperatures. This is the mean temperature between the high and the low. So predominantly, it's been a fairly chilly second half to winter for a good chunk of the country. I mean, even some of the whites here, that is average. So there's very little places that have actually been above average temperatures just over the last 45 days if you take the average highs and lows. So now where are we going to go? I mean, where are we going to go in the next, to say, 10 days? So here's the average temperature anomaly between now, March the 12th, and March the 17th. You can see we have a trough that's digging in out from the west. That's going to bring your colder temperatures and obviously that historic snowstorm that we're going to be talking about. And then out ahead of it, you've experienced going to be experiencing, some above average temperatures for a lot of the southeast, getting into the Ohio Valley, and colder than normal anomalies into the northeast. But once we get past St. Patrick's Day, you can see a good chunk of the country will definitely start cooling down, and those below average temperatures over that 5-day period between the 16th and the 21st will be predominantly below average for a good chunk of the country. So let's kind of walk you through. Here's the latest satellite picture. As of later on today, we're talking Friday, March the 12th. You can definitely see this snowstorm really kind of taking shape up in portions of Nevada, into Utah, getting into Arizona. That'll start creeping into the higher elevations of Colorado. But yeah, out ahead of it, they're going to have to be dealing with some of those higher dew points, some of that, a lot more moisture content, was some of the flooding rains that are going to be taking place over portions of Kansas into Missouri, and then some rain showers out ahead of it. And unfortunately, where that jet gets active, some severe weather as well. So here's the latest storm prediction outlook for later on today. We do have a slight risk for severe weather in places like Lubbock, getting into Amarillo and portions of Oklahoma here, and also a tornado risk. So definitely be under the gun probably later on, say 6 o'clock later on this evening. Some of these storms could definitely turn severe, and a lot of rotation in the atmosphere. So definitely be on the lookout for that, and have your weather radio warnings ready. And then on the outskirts of that, you'll have just a marginal risk extending into places like, say, Wichita Falls and Midland, Texas. So as we kind of walk you through the overnight lows coming up on Saturday morning, you can definitely see where the colder air is going to be in place. I mean, we got 40s all the way down to the coast of California. That's some definitely chilly air for you guys. But, we're talking 20s in Nevada, Idaho 20s. All these are freezing temperatures, and even parts of the Ohio Valley into the Northeast. I mean, 20s and widespread 20s for you guys for Saturday morning. And your warmer air is locked up to the south, waiting on this trough that's going to be coming across from west to east. So later on the day on Saturday, that storm will really start to take a hold. That storm will be over Colorado now. The wind starts shifting to the east. We're talking, some heavier snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour now, in places in Denver and the foothills. That'll creep into Wyoming. So I'm thinking definitely a historic event that it's on the table. At least top 5, March snowfall is definitely on the table for places into Denver, getting into Wyoming. But yeah, out ahead of it, you're gonna have to be dealing with that. A lot of rain and then the severe weather. Unfortunately, as we go through the day on Saturday, and as we get deeper into Saturday, that's when it's really gonna start cranking. I mean, these darker blues are gonna be starting to set up. I mean, we're gonna be piling up the snow in feet in a lot of these places. I'm still going with 18 to 24 inches for Denver, so that would put you at least in the top 5 all-time March snowfall ever. So I'm definitely looking at a historic event, and obviously even higher amounts in the foothills. I mean, 3 to 4 feet is not out of the question with this dynamic system that's going to be in place. And like I said, out ahead of it, you're not to be dealing with some severe weather, unfortunately. And by the time we get deeper into the day on Saturday, that's when I think stuff gets really start at its peak for severe weather as well. We're going to be a slight risk for severe weather for a huge chunk of portions of western Oklahoma, getting into Lubbock, all the way down south into Midland, as well as getting into Wichita Falls, into Abilene. And this is also a tornado threat too, so it's a kind of a back-to-back punch. Like, you're going to have to be dealing with some strong to severe thunderstorms moving across from west to east. But the good thing is you can see Dallas here. By the time it actually reaches to Dallas, it'll kind of lose its luster in a way. I mean, this is a very dynamic system. It's going to be slowing down. It's going to be over Colorado, dumping a lot of heavy snow. There's only so much energy in the atmosphere. It's going to kind of wring itself out in a way and kind of die down as it approaches the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And these will be like after, midnight on Saturday night, getting into the wee hours of Sunday morning. So I'm not really looking at a severe threat for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just possibly some stronger gusty winds coming in the wee hours of the morning. And you'll wake up Sunday with some cooler temperatures. It's gonna be feeling really nice. But yeah, like I mentioned, as we go through the day, getting into Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, that's when I think you're gonna be at like prime time. Heavy snowfall, blinding snow, blizzard, whiteout conditions. I mean, everything's gonna be shut down, guys. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. This is a big event. It's a long duration event, a 48-hour event of heavy snowfall that's gonna be piling up in a big way quickly over Colorado, getting into Wyoming. I mean, Cheyenne could break their all-time snow ever. It could be anywhere from 24 to 30 inches in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So this is definitely a big event that is on the table. And on the south side, like I mentioned, that linear band will back build down to the south into Texas, but it'll kind of lose its luster and lose the punch that it had, and just be more of a gusty wind threat as it moves across into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And you can definitely see the demarcation line of where those gusty winds will be. These are the low temperatures as you wake up on Sunday morning, March the 14th. You can definitely see where the snowfall is going to be falling over the Four Corners region, Colorado into Wyoming. And then out ahead of it, that warm surge, and we do have that colder push that's going to be pushing in from west to east. And then we also have the polar jet they're going to be looking at for the northeast. That's going to be bringing some chillier temperatures even for Sunday morning, but even colder by the time we get into Monday morning. Because as we go through the day on a Sunday, you can definitely see it's still cranking. Snowfall is really still cranking for over Colorado. That'll extend northward now into Wyoming, get into South Dakota. That's when you'll be starting to see some of those extreme heavier totals for that region. And out ahead of it, you can definitely see the band, the kind of the bow echo type of some of your stronger, gustier winds as these storms kind of maybe like reestablish themselves after they move across the Dallas-Fort Worth area and get portions into Louisiana, going into Arkansas. They might kind of rebuild again and get stronger again as they continue moving across, from west to east. But as you wake up the day on Monday, yeah, this is some cold stuff, guys. I mean, this is, widespread 20s, teens, even some single digits up into New England. So definitely some colder air as that EPO goes negative, and so definitely dips. The polar jet really dips into the Ohio Valley, get into the Northeast, and that snowstorm will be locked in place over this region as some cooler temperatures finally make its way a little bit further south. So as we go through the day on Monday, so that same system continues to crank and goes up into South Dakota. That'll extend into portions of Iowa now, as well as Minnesota, and it'll continue pushing into Illinois. At the same time, on the backside, we're going to be looking at another trough that's going to be moving in off the west coast, bringing some more rain for you guys by the time Monday rolls around, but then snow in the higher elevations getting back into Idaho again. And that same system will continue moving across, but it won't be as slow as the first one. This one's a lot faster, so we'll kind of walk you through that. But as we get into the day on Tuesday, here's your lows. I mean, as that continues moving across, we still got chilly temperatures in the Northeast. I mean, this is March 16th on Tuesday, and down to the south, 50s and 60s with some 40s showing up in Missouri. But as this continues moving across, that same system on Tuesday will now be setting up shop over Illinois, getting into portions of Indiana with some snow, and that will continue moving across into the Northeast as we turn our attention on the backside with that trough that's going to be digging in, moving again from west to east. And this will bring another snowstorm for the Pacific Northwest, getting into Nevada. And this is still continued on the 16th. But as we go into St. Patrick's Day on the 17th, that secondary low will be setting up over the Pacific Northwest, getting into Colorado again, Wyoming. The Northeast is still chilly as you wake up for Wednesday, March the 17th. And now, by the time we get deeper into the day on the 17th, looking at the surface map, that same storm will be again right over Colorado and Wyoming. We're talking back to back. So you just went through the historic blizzard, but you won't have no time to rest because it'll be at your doorstep again. Now, luckily, this won't be moving as nearly as slow as the first one, but still, I mean, you'll be digging out of the first storm, and we got more snow that's going to be piling up in Denver, Wyoming, South Dakota. That same low will continue pushing off to the east, bringing some more rain for Missouri, Arkansas, getting into portions of Texas by then. And with those chillier temperatures, as you wake up on the first morning for spring, March the 20th, it's cold. I mean, this is some definitely chilly air for widespread 20s in the Ohio Valley, teens and single digits portions of New England, and even some colder anomalies down here to the south. I mean, so yeah, definitely some colder temperatures will be on your doorstep by the time your first day of spring rolls around. And as we take a look at the snowfall totals with those two systems kind of back to back, this is where it's really active. This is actually the blend of all the models. So I'm not showing you one model. I'm showing you all the blends of all the different models. And yeah, some of these snowfall totals, again, I'm thinking 18 to 24 inches with the first system, but even the second system could dump at least another 6 to possibly up to a foot of snow back in Denver. So overall, possibly 2 feet plus is not out of the question for the next 7 to 10 days for Denver, as these heavier snowfall totals will be kind of making a bullseye. And even in the Northeast, you can definitely see I do still expect what's back-to-back system, more snow for you guys as these systems move across from west to east. And even for the Ohio Valley, portions of the Ohio Valley is still going to probably see some more snow over the next 10 days. So, hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video. Definitely leave your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.